All right, I guess I'm live. I decided tonight that I'm going to test this out, see how it works. I never did this really before, other than the one test. So tonight I just wanted to talk about life a little. As I'm going through all these different changes, as I'm evolving and curtailing how I do things, um, I want to share this journey. I believe fully in sharing this journey. I believe that there is a power in sharing it. I believe there's a need for somebody to see it. I know that I would have loved to have seen it. Um, I think it would have given me direction. It would have helped me in the long run to see those things and to be able to have somebody there that went through it or as they were going through it. So, what I want to talk about a little bit is since Friday, my life's been pretty chaotic, right? Like as I'm going through these changes and as I'm evolving and building and growing forward, not everybody in my life fully, has fully accepted that fact. So along the way, I'm going through the growing pains of losing certain people, having people change how they're interacting with me, having people shift, not enjoy the paradigm shift on my side. Um, it's really become a situation where it's kind of frustrating at times. It hurts a lot. I've had my heart ripped out pretty good. Uh, there's just times that it's challenging. You just never know what's going to happen. Just like a live stream, right? You just never know what's going to happen. You never know how it's going to go, how it's going to play out. And since I'm, as Jason Leibowitz would say, I'm. Hey Kenny. um, as I'm going through these changes, it's tough, right? Like I'm going into the uncomfortable. So as I go into the uncomfortable, I'm getting more comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's a process. It's a learning curve. It's not straightforward. It's not simple. But it is very simplified for me, right? I've been sober 14 years. I went through my 12 steps, and I spent lots of years around and in the program, while at the same time learning those steps in that process. I'm learning that while retraining my mind on how to handle emotions, how to handle things, because I've never really dealt with that. Um, it's a lot of the same types of steps and it's the same types of process. So for me, it's an easier curve. Now, trying to understand my emotions and those things, which I've buried for years, and my worthlessness and shames and everything else that comes along with that. These are issues that I've been working through, that I've been going through, that I've been processing. So as I'm going through those, I'm getting these emotional tidal waves, good and bad, right? So it's this roller coaster effect, just like life is. The the ups and downs. And yes, Kenny, I agree with you 100%. You are amazing, my friend. You really are, bud. Um, those are, yes, those people that are in your life that want to be in your corner, that care, should welcome the positive change. I agree. Sometimes the issue with that is when there is a change, the dynamic in relationships changes, and if one person of the two doesn't like it, then that's where the shift really kicks in, right? That's where there's those growing pains, there's that anxiety, there's that uncomfortableness for the other person, to where they're not sure how to react. And if there's insecurities, if it's not a very straightforward situation, then there's always those second guessings and everything else, right? So when you expect somebody to be your biggest supporter and they turn out to be against it, it really hurts, right? So and it puts a strain on relationships. It puts a strain on me. It puts a strain on the other person, because the reactions aren't the same anymore. So as I'm going through these steps in this process, it's easier for me because I've gone through steps before and I understand it that way. I'm a very numerical person. And for me to go through steps and for me to understand a logical process to be able to get to that point makes sense for me. Right. So, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going step by step, and process by process, and just going from there. Uh, well, that's a whole nother issue, Kenny. If they were fake to begin with, I don't think that people are fake. I think that insecurities come out when dynamics change, and when that happens, they don't know how to handle it, right? And if there's something going on for them that has changed their side and they're not being forthright with it, then that's where that can also kick in, right? So I feel like there's many dynamics here and there's many pieces to that puzzle, and I really can't speak for the other person's side or any person's side other than my own. So my over analytical mind can process this and can break it down in a million or 10 million or 20 million different ways and drive myself crazy over it. But what I'm learning as I go through these steps is that the only thing I can control is myself. The only thing I can control is how I react to it emotionally. And there's going to be slips, there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be, like, I had a slip up today and I wasn't very happy with myself, but I didn't let it destroy my day. It grabbed me for that moment. It carried me for a period of time. But that's it. I let it go, right? This is, I'm doing the best I can, and the best I can is more than enough. And now I know that, and I believe that, right? Because I am a good person. I do love myself. I owe myself that much credit. And I also, I owe myself to have certain standards and boundaries. And I need to be comfortable with those boundaries. Now, at this point, I'm still not fully comfortable with the boundaries. I'm not still fully comfortable with how I'm putting them in place, but I'm learning to, right? I've never really put boundaries in like this before, so this is just this learning curve for me. Yes, Kenny, I know I should, and that's the process that I'm going through. I am doing it. So it's there's this curve to it, right? There's this learning curve that I'm going through because I've spent the first 40 years of my life not having boundaries. I do have boundaries, but I didn't have ones really to protect myself to an extent. There were more boundaries to keep myself from going too far. Um, Now my boundaries are getting to be a little bit more drawn lines in the sand and creating certain standards for myself. And I'm learning that self-worth and I'm learning that value within myself. So that's where it's kicking in, it's getting stronger. I'm building myself up. And as I continue to build myself up and as I continue to create that self-worth and that value and continue doing the work and just building forward, a lot of those boundaries are going to implement themselves without me even realizing it. So I feel like I'm taking all the appropriate steps. There's a whirlwind of emotions that I'm going through. I'm going through 40 years of emotions in a very short period of time because I want to change. I'm working with a coach that I love dearly, and she is amazing, and she is showing me a way that worked for her, and she's very similar to the thought process that I have. So it's making it much simpler for me, right? She empathizes with exactly where I'm at in a lot of ways. So it's emulating somebody that has been in your position that can guide you on how to get out of it. And for me, that's what she is. So it's working and it's amazing, and I love it. And I want more work, and I want to keep pushing forward, and I want to continue to change. And I honestly can't worry about those that I'm leaving behind. As much as I don't want to leave certain people behind, and as much as I want to help everybody, and as much as I want to save others, I can't do that until I save myself. And that's where I'm at right now. So I need to be able to save myself first. I need to be able to put myself first in this situation. I need to be able to love myself first before I can truly love anyone else. And those are the steps that I've missed my whole life. Those are the things that, throughout my life, I've just missed. So it's this process is tedious. This process it's emotionally and mentally tedious. It's not physically tedious. It's reprogramming my whole thought process. And it really is the most amazing thing I've ever done. It's almost like magic, right? Because I'm literally turning a switch and I'm just getting it. And sometimes it even doesn't seem real to me because it's almost like I can't believe I feel this way this fast. but it really was taking these micro steps, doing the work, and then applying that to the rest of my thought process. So I guess it's like NLP. I guess it's stuff like that, just to reprogram how I've always done things. And I really feel like at this point in time, I'm making these proper steps. I'm making these proper moves. I'm standing up for myself. I'm taking a stand, and I'm moving forward to create my best self. Because I have my kids to worry about. I have myself to worry about. I have others that I care about, and I can't do those things until I'm in my right space. So being comfortable with myself and loving myself is a huge part of it. Kenny, you have any questions, Kenny? You got any questions for me, bud? I mean, I could tell you about the emotional swings and the fact that I've been up and down and clarity. I'm not leaving anybody behind in my life who care for you, know where and how to find you. That is true, right? Like I'm not leaving people behind that want to see me get better. I'm leaving people behind that don't understand my change or that don't understand where I'm going with this, right? Or don't believe where I'm going with this, or don't want to see where it's coming from. So the reality is, you're right. I'm not leaving anybody like that behind, and I am easy to find, right? I'm all over the place, so it's not like I'm difficult to find. But I'm walking away from a lot of people, and I'm moving forward from a lot of people because the toxicity just crushes me. My empathy and the fact that I'm an empath really takes over, and I feel bad for others quite often. And many times in my life, I've put those people first, and I started doing that again, and I had to stop because at some point I had to do something for me. I had to do what was right for me. I had to do what was best for me and my kids. And I agree, Kenny. Yes, it is. It is okay. I'm getting comfortable with it. I'm starting to understand it. I'm starting to get a better control on it. But this is the journey that I want to share because I know if somebody else starts going through this journey or wants to go through this journey, I want them to understand what they're walking into. Because it's easier for somebody after the fact to go back and say, this is how you do it. I want to share it while I'm doing it so that I can actually show them the ups and downs and show them the changes and show them how things are fluid. It's not about a moment, it's about the progress. It's not about a bad moment or a good moment. It's about the overall momentum. And I'm very proud of where I'm at today, and I'm very proud of my momentum. I'm not upset, and I'm not dragging out the negative that I had today, and I'm not carrying it forward. And these are huge steps for me because I used to really harp and hold on to those things. So I feel like, over time, as I continue to move forward, these things are going to start straightening themselves out and sorting themselves out. And some of those people might come back over time, and some of those people might not. That's not up to me again, right? Like I wish I could have more impact on that. But again, those people have to make their own decisions, and I can't make them for them. Um, they're making their decisions now, and that's the choices that they're making. So that's what they're going to have to deal with, and I'm going to have to deal with. I have no control over that. I can control how I react. I can control on me still pushing forward. I can control the fact that I'm not losing momentum because of it. Yes, I'm having hiccups. Yes, I'm having speed bumps, but there is no straight up path, right? Even when you go up the highest mountain, there's zigzags. So you got to just roll with the punches and see where it takes you. Um, I feel like I feel a lot of things, right? I feel a lot of things today. Today was a tough day. Today I started out the day so amazing. I was so content. I was so peaceful. I was just so happy with life. And then I had moments of clarity. And then I had that downswing, and it just like kicked me in the teeth a little bit. And then my kids got a little cranky, so that didn't help either. And then from there, I've started picking myself back up, right? And started clearing my head again. The good news is I caught it before it got out of hand. So the progress there is enormous, right? Because it's not dwelling. The good news is that it's it's a real it's a journey for you to go through in life as everyone else, at least those. I agree with you 100%, right? Everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own place to go with it. And you just gotta You just got to accept that, and I do, and I really do today. I'm perfectly fine with whoever is walking out of my life. Okay, walking out of my life. I'm perfectly fine with not everybody supporting what I'm doing. I'm perfectly fine with not everybody being okay with it, not everybody accepting it. I'm perfectly fine with all those things. That's not the battle. The battle for me is internal, right? Because of what I went through in my childhood, I have enormous abandonment issues, worth it issues, shame issues, and some of those things are triggering me a little bit, and that's okay too, right? Because as they get triggered, I get to address them and really break them down and understand what's the root of those issues, so that I can start healing from them. So it's really a blessing and a curse, right? It's that whole it's good but bad, and you've got to go through these hiccups, you've got to go through these pieces so that you can get to the next step. Um, I feel today I'm just proud of myself because I just keep pushing forward, and no matter what the hiccup is, no matter who does it, no matter what those things are, um, I'm still pushing forward. No matter what the feeling is, yes, I am healing. I'm healing in major, major, major ways, like unbelievable ways that I never imagined I would, Kenny. Like, I never imagined I would get over some of these things that I'm getting over. I never thought that I would process all of these things. I never thought that I would move forward from some of these things. I thought that I was going to be stuck with this baggage forever. And really, in the last 3 months, I've done so much work in so many different ways on all of it, that one of the final pieces for me was really this reprogramming on how I'm thinking. And it's been a very detailed process the whole way. I do very good with finite steps. I just don't do good at abstract when it comes to processes. So now that I have these steps, I'm taking them and I'm moving forward. Um, it's a long journey, right? This is something that's going to last me the rest of my life. This isn't just, I'm going to wake up one morning and be perfectly healed and great and good to go, right? I mean, yeah, I'll feel better. Yeah, I'll be my best self each day, and that's all I can be. So it's just as I keep moving through the path, the trajectory is going to keep going up, and I'll just get better and better over time. And that's all I can ask for. So I'm just trying to keep it real the whole way so that, other people see the journey. And that's about where I'm at right now. The good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it might be. I'm absolutely exhausted tonight. I think Sid's sleeping. The older two are not, but they start school tomorrow, so that should be entertaining. They still don't have logins, so that should be fun. It's this whole world's got some pretty major issues going on right now, so my issues don't seem as big. I just need to address mine because that's all I can control. How you doing tonight, Kenny? You doing all right? So, with all that being said, I mean, I really I just wanted to get on here one and test it out in practice and see how I do with it. Uh, you're doing scrumptiously delicious, edibly tasty good. I love you, Kenny. You're awesome, man. I barely can even read it or repeat it. So, you're amazing, Kenny. You really are. You're like one of the best human beings on this that I've met, and I appreciate you so much, man. You're so supportive. Thank you for everything. Um, One day I hope to get to that level as well. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever fully be there, but that's okay. I'm working on it. It's a beautiful thing to be as good as you are, man. Oh, you too, bud. This is what it's about, right? It's about, building those relationships, finding those people that root for you no matter what. And, it really is just, this is what it's about. It's about building those bonds with people that want to see you be your best self, that don't want to hold you back, that want to lift you up, and that want to help you get there. And in turn, you help them as well, right? Because this is a give and take. So, um, you're awesome, Kenny. I really do appreciate you, bud. I think I'm going to call it. It's been just about 20 minutes by myself, which is pretty interesting. Uh, I've done stuff. I've done plenty of stuff with other people, but doing it by myself for 20 minutes is quite quite interesting. But I guess I'm not by myself, Kenny. You're here, bud. Maybe I should bring you on live one night. What do you think? Come on, Kenny. I'm definitely up for it if you are. Oh hell no. Oh, Kenny, you're just so awesome, bud. All right, man. Well, look, everybody have a good night. I appreciate you, Kenny. Again, thank you so much, and I'll do this again soon. I just wanted to test it out and see how it went. It was smoother than I thought it would be. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.